Frazier and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left some. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey shot with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
Yo, what up? What up, family? Welcome back. It's a brand new episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We are streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm Trey Frazier. That's the homie Maestro Styles over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. What's good, man? How was your week, man?
Hey, week was the week, man. Thankful, man. Thankful for another 1-0 record on top of the AFC North after week one. How about you, man?
I'm good, man. Hey, enjoy being on the top of the division for this week, man. Just enjoy it because I don't know how long it's gonna last. I could tell you right now, it's not gonna last long. So enjoy it while you can. I know the rest of the division took L's. That's cool. We'll see what happens, man. But quick shout out to Mama Harley and Richard. Congrats on the union. You and I were had an opportunity to take present at the event over the weekend, and it's been a while since we've been around each other. So, it was dope to, catch up with some people and, catch up with the homies and all that. So, shout out to them, for putting together the event and all that.
Yeah, man. It was definitely a good time. Congratulations to Mama Harley and Richard, for sure. But getting back to this AFC North thing, man, who y'all play next week?
The Raiders.
Okay, all right, I should win that.
Okay. Raiders at home.
I'm about to say we play the Broncos, and Bo Nix didn't look like nothing.
Yeah, that didn't look good. I mean, where was they at? They was in Seattle.
Yeah,
over the weekend. Okay, okay, okay. I kind of put Seattle
42 times and had like 140 yards total.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so,
okay. I mean, that's a winnable game. I would say for Pittsburgh, that's a winnable game. Where that's in Denver or in Pittsburgh?
I don't know off the top of my head, but I'd be honest with you. I don't give a damn. We should win that game.
Well, yeah. I mean, roster for roster, I think you guys should win the game. But as we say,
Justin Fields is starting. Going into the game, Tomlin announced it today. So so we'll see what happens. I don't know if it's because of he played a competent game or Russell Wilson is still hurt. But he definitely came out and said that Justin Fields is going to be starting. So we'll see how it goes week 2. But I do if I'm basing it off of last week's performance as a team and his performance as a quarterback, we should definitely be 2-0 by the end of next week.
So I didn't watch majority of the game. I was flipping back and forth between games. Obviously, the Ravens had already played, so I was just kind of red zoning without red zoning. But I think one of the things I did notice with Justin Fields, and like you said, he played some competent quarterback throughout the game. He didn't, mess anything up. There wasn't not a lot of mistakes, not a lot of bad throws, I should say. But I think one thing I noticed from him is that, and I don't know, I'd have to look at some of his Chicago tape when he was in Chicago, but a lot of, if not all the throws that I've saw him, on the times that I've turned to the game, a lot of his throws is, outside of the numbers. Not a lot of, and if any, did I see any, passes over the middle with him. So that's one thing I did notice. I don't know if that's by design. I don't know if he's not good enough to make that, make those passes over the middle. I don't know if it's the personnel, but that was one thing that just kind of, caught my attention was a lot of, if not all of the passes I saw him make were outside the numbers.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment, and I, maybe I don't know if that was game plan or just what he saw or what. I know emphatically is that strategy, that game plan, should be a good enough game plan to beat Denver. Now, I don't know on top of my head what Week 3 looks like and how that's going to,
Hmm.
how that game plan is going to look in Week 3. But certainly, I'm looking forward to uh, letting Justin Fields open it up just a little bit more. We shouldn't have to, let's see what this kid is while he's starting and got is getting reps on the field. Let's see who this kid is. Can he
Hmm.
throw the ball? Can he not? He had a beautiful throw to George Pickens that got called back on a bullshit offensive pass interference. Not because not because of the rule, but because that wasn't, like that wasn't enough of a push off for me for offensive pass interference to be called. And that was about maybe the only time where he threw a deep, well, he threw a deep a second time to George Pickens, where George Pickens, where it was a beautiful throw actually, where George Pickens had to locate the ball, and then they even cheated him on that play because he had some yak that they called
Hmm.
back talking about he was down by contact. But
Mm.
it was that's a whole nother story if emphatically we need to go back and recap that game. Um, but yeah, man, I that's glad to get a win, glad to be on top of the division, um, and I'm gonna celebrate 1-0, and the rest of everybody else being 0-1.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. I was gonna have a question for you though. Before
Uh-huh.
I get to the Ravens. So hypothetically, Russell Wilson, that calf gets healthy after your game against Denver, and he's good to go. You making Russ start week 3, or is it dependent on how Fields looks during week 2?
Well, look, I said in the preseason that Justin Fields, in my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
should start.
Yep.
But he wasn't bought to start this year. Russell Wilson was bought to start this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that Mike Tomlin is going to give him an opportunity to start. So I think the second he's healthy, unless Justin Fields goes on a tear, like one, 400, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns type of tear,
Yeah.
that they're going to let, whenever Russell Wilson is healthy, he's going to start that very next week. And it'll be his job until they feel like, okay, we need to make a change because this ain't working. For whatever reason, it's not working. So, I think that Russell Wilson is going to be the starter, but I think Justin Fields should be the starter.
Mm. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see, man. Shout out to Mocha Bella. Shout out to the X Squad radio station in the Facebook live chat.
What up? What up? What up?
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, man. Speaking of the Miami Dolphins, if we can get into some nonsense, uh, Tyreek Hill was detained before the game by some Latino
Mm-hmm.
police officers. Last I heard was that those guys were put on administrative leave.
Yep.
I would hope, obviously the video has gone around your social media. If you are a sports watcher with social media, I'm sure you've seen the video at least twice on your timeline. That was some bullshit. That was unnecessary. All the things, and I hope they lose their job behind it because it was not only him, but they got a little attitude, had a little attitude with Calais Campbell too, who was just seeing his teammate on the road
Mm-hmm.
and was pulling over trying to help. And like that cop was on cold bullshit, or those cops was on cold bullshit. And yeah, man, they should lose their job for that.
Yeah. I mean, that was a weird, crazy Sunday morning before all the games kicked off. A lot of news was just hitting, hours before. In the case of what happened with Tyreek Hill and the Miami Police Department, that's some bullshit. I'm sorry, man. We've been pulled over. Um, Plenty times in our lives, whether it's because we got caught speeding, whether it's because of a broken headlight, broken tail light, whatever the case may be. Um, the whole rolling up the windows and keeping the windows down. Like I've never heard of a law being that you had to have your window down. Like I've never heard of that before. I mean, the cop at that point had his identification. So if
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek Hill wanted to roll his window up, he can roll his window up. I mean, look at it from a standpoint. He in Miami, it's hot as hell outside. The man probably had the AC on blast in the car. He wanted to keep the AC inside the car. Like, reverse it. If it's cold as hell and the cop stopped me, I'm trying to keep this heat inside this car, man. Like, here, take my ID, do what you got to do, write me up. But this window, I'm gonna keep this window up because it's freezing as hell outside. So,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the rules is. I don't know what the rules is to that.
mhm,
I know me personally, if I was in Tyreek Hill's situation, I wouldn't have rolled my window up. I understand your point. I'm just
mhm,
thinking like I don't want this cop to say nothing much more to me besides you can go ahead or here's your ticket and go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So
mhm,
for me, if I'm in his situation, the last thing I'm thinking about is, ooh, let me keep the air in my car because it's hot as hell outside. I'm thinking, hey, Lord, please let me get out of here safe type shit. And so
yep,
I'm willing to withstand. I like to withstand some heat or some cold if it was cold outside. To make that cop feel a little bit more comfortable. Now, I'm not saying that it's our job to make a cop comfortable. I'm
mhm.
just saying for me, I'm trying to get out as cleanly as possible.
You trying to get
So,
home?
yeah. So the last thing I'm thinking about is rolling my window up because of the AC or whoop, 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 man. I don't know exactly what he was pulled over for.
Mhm.
Um,
Speeding.
Speeding. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. I'm trying to just go. Hey, bro, go ahead and give me my ticket so I can go about my business. I don't want to get out of the car. I don't want to give you no reason to feel like I need to get out of the car. And I'm not saying that what the cop was doing was just. He put him out of the car for nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
But
that force was
but
unnecessary.
yeah, but um, I don't know that rolling up the window helped. I don't know that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think you can kind of justify it, either way. Like, I don't think there's a right or wrong to the window, aspect of it. I know that Tyreek had a complaint about the cop knocking on his car window a certain
Yeah.
way.
Hmm.
There was that exchange with the cop, and then I guess the cop felt like, oh, this dude's, you
Playing with
know,
me.
playing with me with my authority. Let me get buck on him. But at that point, you just gotta, if you're the cop, you gotta de-escalate that situation. You stopped
Yeah.
them for a
Yeah.
reason. You stopped them
Hmm.
for a reason. You tracked him down as speeding. Okay, get his information, write him up, and the both of y'all can be on your way. Tyreek can go play his game. You can go do your police duties or whatever, and everybody's safe. It don't have to get to that point. Like,
Yeah, I don't
I'm
know
sorry.
why. I don't know why, and I guess it's not a police wide thing, but maybe it's more. I mean, clearly it's more of an individual thing. Why don't they understand that those guys understand that their job is to de-escalate the situation and distinguish justice like that. That's it. Like you,
Yep.
like the, don't be the lame nigga that became a cop and happy to get a cop. Happy to get a bust and you was a loser all your life and now use your power. Use your power. Go power hungry. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Don't go
Hmm.
power hungry because you're the one dude that that can exercise his power because you got a badge. Like that's sucker shit.
Right.
Any cop who does that, you a sucker, and you used to get bullied in high school. You need to like get over it, man. Like that dude. That dude really looked like a loser ass nigga in that situation. Meaning the cop looked like a loser in that
Hmm.
situation.
As if it was more of a
Um,
jealousy thing, as it's like, because I think the cops knew who he was. Like, I know that
I
question
would
was
hope
floated
so.
around. I think they knew he was Tyreek Hill and
I mean, but even
decided,
if they didn't know if he was Tyreek Hill, Miami's offensive wide receiver, they know he
mhm,
was Tyreek Hill in an expensive ass car. They
Mm-hmm.
know that. They know he was a black dude in expensive ass car speeding, which is when you buy those kinds of cars. I mean, what else is there to do in those types of cars but fucking speed? So it's like, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So yeah, I mean, it was hate. It seemed like hate, and it's like my nigga, like God ain't bless you that way, nigga. Or you ain't got to be
It
no
seems
hater.
like hate. It seems like hate, and I don't think that's the wrong I don't think that's a wrong point you're putting out there. I guess the point I'm trying to get to is, and it relates to what he was saying at the podium after the game, and I'm glad he kind of brought this to light. Is that, hey, look, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill, the football player, with the multi-million-dollar contract? Like, what if I was just some regular black dude, just happened to get caught speeding down the street? Like, the situation could have gotten worse. It could have gotten
Hmm.
deadly at that point.
Hmm.
I think
I
about
mean,
this all the time with my son is about to turn 10 this year, and he's autistic, and these are some of the conversations I have to have with him because you know being autistic in this society, it's still how can I describe it? It's still a thing where I think if you're a police officer, you're not aware of what that's like for a kid to be autistic and what that comes with. You know what I'm saying? So,
mhm.
and I'm just kind of speaking on things from a political standpoint because the election's coming up and there's people that are trying to implement things to help autistic kids and autistic people in general. I hope that happens. But yeah, these are the kinds of conversations that I have to have with my son, and I worry about, him whenever I see stuff like what happened to Tyreek Hill happened.
Yeah. I won't ask I won't ask the context of that conversation, but what I say again is like, look, man, it's dangerous out here for folks. It's a little bit more dangerous for black folk, and then it's just a little bit more dangerous for rich black folk. At least in that landscape of life. So
Hmm.
like I said, justice for Tyreek Hill. I hope that dude gets fired. Um, those dudes get fired. Um, and let it be that. I know I saw briefly that he was on an interview with somebody. Tyreek Hill was.
He was
He
on
was speaking
CNN last
about.
night. I didn't
Okay.
watch the interview, but I know he was on CNN last night. Calais Campbell did some interviews yesterday on a couple of platforms. John
Hmm.
Smith, I think, did an interview. John Smith was another of his teammates that was out there. He was the one that, if you saw the video, he was the one that got out the car and the cop was walking toward him and was like, yo, get back in the car, get back in the car. And just as he's trying to get back in the car, the cop is just taking it to another level.
Hmm.
Like he wants smoke and stuff. And it's like, yo, it's not that serious, man. Like, you told me get back in the car. Okay, cool. I'll get back in the car. It's whatever. I can't park here. Cool. It's wild,
Yeah,
man.
the cop them two cops should lose their job. Period.
Yeah, all of them.
I,
I think it was
I,
about four of them.
I heard. Oh, I only saw those two, but did Tyreek? I heard that Tyreek Hill had a good game fresh off of that.
He scored a touchdown. I think it was like
Okay.
a 52-yard touchdown. I watched a little bit of that game. It was actually a good game, good ending. I don't. Well, I know how Jacksonville blew this game because they was up 17-7, and I think the turning point in that game was they was in the red zone, and Travis Etienne, shout out to Travis Etienne, but that man lost the ball. He got it knocked out of his arm actually as he was heading toward
Mhm.
the goal line. You know, he holds on. That's 24/7 versus now you get the ball back to Miami off the turnover, and bam, here comes Tyreek with the 50-something yard touchdown. So that brought it to 17-10 now. So now you've
Yeah.
kind of brought it back, in the favor of the Miami Dolphins. So that was the big win for Miami, given everything that happened, pre kickoff with Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Tyreek Hill, man. I know he got a checkered past, and shout out to NFL chick. She don't really, she makes sure that she reminds people that he hit on or he has hit on women. I don't know what he's doing in his current life, but you know what I'm saying. But I mean, look, that he was done wrong in that situation, man, and justice
Yeah,
should.
honestly, I'm sorry, I mean to cut you. And honestly, and NFL chick, she is right in what she said, and she's right in bringing that to light. When we had her on, but I just think at this moment, given the nature of what happened, I don't feel like I need to bring up Tyreek's past
Well, yeah,
into this.
I don't know that she has that wasn't my point. That wasn't my reason of saying that. I'm
Yeah,
just saying that, regardless of who he is or what he has done as a person, when you're done
right.
wrong as a person, you deserve justice. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, unless that
Yeah,
was a
yeah, absolutely.
direct result of him hitting whoever he hit, I think it was his girl or his wife or whoever it was.
Hmm.
Unless that was a direct reaction to something you did, then that justice should, you got to right to justice for that. So
No,
I hope
absolutely.
that justice is found in that situation with him, and and then we move forward amicably.
Yeah. Nah, folks should not use his past to justify,
Yeah,
what happened to
and
him.
yeah, let me be clear. That wasn't to say that NFL chick or anybody has
Sure.
brought up his past in relation to this incident. Those are two separate incidences and should be treated as such.
No, absolutely, absolutely, man. Quick shout out to some folks in the IG live chat. We got Randy Wilson podcast. We got
What up? What up?
the homie Courtney Harden in here. We also got
Yeah,
Lady Two. Was good, was good.
yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah,
y'all.
man. While we into the nonsense, and I guess we could tie it into football.
Hmm.
I saw on Twitter today that I didn't read the article, but the headline read: Cleveland Browns can get out of this Deshaun Watson contract if these allegations, I guess, not are true or false, but get some type of get any type of traction. Um, and by the
Hmm.
way,
Hmm.
he played a trash game Sunday
That's
against
an
the
understatement.
Cowboys.
That's an
Yeah,
understatement, dog.
certainly. But I
He
did
cooked.
also.
He's cooked, dog. Like
Well,
that's it.
I will
That's
say
it.
this before I get into football play.
Uh-huh.
I read that his father had died 3 days prior to that game. Um,
I did see somebody posted. I was meaning to do some digging on that to see if that was like a confirmation that that did happen. But if it did happen, rest in peace to his pops, and
yeah,
condolences to him and his family. Where
for
that's
sure.
concerned on a personal level.
Yeah, but yeah, he put on the field and played some cold shit, and if it was because mentally he wasn't there, grieving his pops, and I can understand that. I will acknowledge he played like shit, but not necessarily throw him in the trash just quite yet. Um, did you hear? Now I didn't hear all the stories about this case, but allegedly in
Hmm.
2020, he was on some type of a date or some type of date with a jump or
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
And the Bama he was at. And this is hearsay. This is what somebody told me, so I don't know if this
Okay.
is true.
Okay.
I just want to be clear, but it was funny when somebody said it to me.
Hmm.
Um, he was at Shorty house, and he was like, where the bathroom type shit. Went to the bathroom.
Mm.
Went to the bathroom, got butt ass naked, came out the bathroom, talking about, hey, I'm trying to get a massage. That's a
You
wild.
know,
If that's
I
true,
thought I thought that that's what was one of the stories from the other females in one of them earlier cases
I
at the time.
the only story that I had heard back when this was a thing
Uh-huh.
was he was working with an actual physical therapist, and I guess somehow somewhere in between the treatment,
Mm.
no homo slim caught a hard on, and I guess she noticed or he noticed she noticed or something, and basically he uncovered a towel like, what's good. That's what I heard about. That's the only story that
Okay.
I had heard of among the a million allegations he had when that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's interesting to me. And look, I don't know what's real and what's fake. I'm an advocate of stating I don't know what's real and what's fake.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the 2020. So was he still with the Texans then?
Mm-hmm.
So that was so this is just another woman coming out in the
Yes.
long list of women who came out when he
Right.
said he no longer wanted to play for the Texans, and then all of a sudden all these women started coming out saying sexual harassment. Again,
Yeah.
that's not me. That's not me saying these women weren't sexually harassed. That's just me stating that one thing happened, and then after that another thing happened.
Mm-hmm. Well, we really
Um,
don't know the timeline. Like we're 2020, we're talking about that one year he I think that was like a record-setting year for him in terms of stats personally.
mhm,
And then 2021, if I'm not mistaken, was when he held out for that season or
okay.
threatened to hold out. And I think that was the year when all the allegations started to come out. I think it was like 12 or 13, counts of sexual assault.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
then 2022 was his first year in Cleveland, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2022. So now we're in
Well,
the
this is
third
what I
year of
know
his
for.
contract.
This is what I believe to know for a fact.
Yeah.
He came out and said, "I don't want to play for the Texans anymore."
Hmm.
And then shortly thereafter, all
Yep.
these allegations came out.
Hmm.
Now, again, I'm not here saying that he didn't do all these things to these women. I'm just stating a timeline and acknowledging that
Hmm.
that sounds crazy when you put the two things together.
Yep.
Don't mean he didn't do it. Don't mean Bob McNair and Houston Texans did do what some people in barbershops would accuse him of doing.
Yeah, because
I'm just
remember their attorney, I think, lives down the street from one of the people that work with the Texans. So there was like some kind of conflict of interest going on there.
hmm,
And look, I could believe that. Like I could believe that that's true. I could also believe Deshaun
that he a nasty
Watson,
nigga.
little freaky. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Two things can
or
be
a
true at the
freaky
same
nigga,
time.
or a freaky, yeah,
Right,
absolutely. I
right.
mean, it's very, very, very possible. Not saying it is true, but it's
Hmm.
possible
Hmm.
that he said, "I don't want to play for the Houston Texans no more." Bob Ness said, "All right, I'm gonna fuck up your career by throwing all these women at you at one time, knowing you a nasty ass, freaky ass nigga, and you gonna react to beautiful women however you react to beautiful women, and
Yeah,
then just you know what I'm saying,
yeah.
like
Right, right.
all these things are possible." I don't know what's real and what's fake. I'm just stating what could possibly be happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whole time, like, hey, I'll say this. Deshaun, man, no homo. You might have to go get some male physical therapist, bro.
So fast forward. So let's kind of fast forward to this. So does two questions. Does anything come out of this case? Because I feel like with the previous ones,
Yeah.
I feel like the results are going to be the same. He going to end
Well,
up
they
playing.
definitely. Yeah, well, they definitely said that they're not interested in putting him on that little list that that little, I forget what the list is called, commissioners list.
Yes.
They
Hmm.
definitely expressed that they're not interested in putting him on that commissioners list.
Yep.
So, all for all intents and purposes, if he's okay to play next week, he's gonna play next week.
Yep. I don't see
So,
him. I don't see them benching him unless it becomes like something huge that Cleveland just can't, get on the wraps.
right,
And
and that got reported what Sunday night type shit,
yeah,
and
yeah,
you know we
yeah.
today's Tuesday. I mean, who knows what's gonna happen between now and Sunday, but
Hmm.
um, I can't see no further dust being kicked up behind this shit.
Right,
But
right.
hey man, Deshaun, stop it, boy. Stop it. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever role of responsibility that you could take in this situation, stop it, my boy. Cause you don't want to fuck up the 235 mil.
Well, I don't know that he can stop it. We're
Well,
talking about
again,
something that comes back to 2020. Like what's done is done. It's pretty much
well,
up to
again,
any other
I,
female that comes forward.
well, I'm also saying fucking up the money in the sense of if Cleveland, I'm assuming
Hmm.
without reading the article that I saw,
Hmm.
I'm assuming that they can get out of that contract with something like conduct detriment of the team type shit, like that type of
Maybe,
shit. You know what I'm
maybe.
saying? I'm that's just me assuming.
Hmm.
So if Shorty come out, whoever came out and this past allegation, and what if three more people decide,
Right.
yeah, yeah, he did that to me too, or two more out of the prior 12 is like, hey, nah, don't
Hmm.
forget because he did this too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it can get ugly, and I would assume that if Cleveland saw an opportunity to get out of this 235 million guarantee, only one other
Hmm.
person is getting something close to that guarantee.
Yeah.
Um, they would find a way to get out of it if they could. I would think.
Yeah, it's so this is year number 3 of
Yep.
the fully guaranteed contract. And I'm sure there's a breakdown somewhere,
And I'm
on
sure they're not going
Twitter.
to pay him more than 4 years either.
Right, right. Because look, do I think he's gonna fulfill the entire 6 years? No. I think at some point there
Well,
may
it was a
be a
4 year contract,
separation.
right? It
What's
wasn't.
that?
It was a 4 year contract. It was 4 years, 235.
No, I thought it was 6 years.
I'm pretty certain it was a 4 year, 235.
You sure
The
about
whole
that?
contract. I'm about 87%. It was a entire. It was a four
Hold on, you
year.
about to make me
Yeah.
hold on, you about to
Yes,
make me
by
do
all
this.
means.
You about
Yeah,
to
by
make me
all
do the
means.
math real
But
quick. So
I am pretty certain
230.
that
We
it
230 was the number, was the full
two
number,
thirty. I'm
right?
sorry. I know I keep saying 235. No, but I feel like it was 235. I feel like it was 4 years, 235.
4 years,
Guaranteed. The entire
235,
contract was guaranteed. I
57.
remember.
Yeah, I don't think he's making 57. I think he's
No,
above 50. He's above 50,
well,
but
that's the annual contract. You could restructure an annual contract. He just had it. He just got it restructured this year in the off
did
season.
he? Did he?
Yeah,
Maybe that's
yeah,
maybe that's why I'm missing out because I
yeah.
didn't know
Well,
he
because
was structured.
they're not gonna pay the entire contract in 4 years. They're gonna pay him back inside.
Got you. Got you.
Yeah.
They're
So
front
yeah,
they're
but
front loading or back loading most of that
right,
money.
right,
Okay, I
right,
got you. I
right.
got you.
So, but
Okay.
it was definitely 4 years, 235. Guaranteed. The entire contract was guaranteed. I
Okay.
mean, it was
Yeah.
why we was. Yeah, I remember us having a conversation like, "Oh, these niggas better be going to the Super Bowl sometime soon."
Yeah.
And
Okay.
which is, by the way, crazy because they're not going to the Super Bowl.
No, that's not happening.
They're not going.
That's
They got a
that's
good defense. They got a good defense. Good wide receiving core. Tight end. One of the better offensive lines in the league. They didn't look like it Sunday.
mhm.
And the person you paid is probably more so the reason why you're not going to the Super Bowl than anything else.
Right, right. Okay,
Yeah.
so Google is my friend. So 5 years, 230 million.
Okay.
That
Okay.
was the original
Okay.
deal before the restructure.
Gotcha.
So the restructure is probably the 4 years and whatever else is
Well,
left on
yeah, I
that.
just know that I don't know the numbers on the restructure. I know the restructure happened this past off season.
Got you, got you.
Yeah.
So he was getting 40. Oh, he was getting 46 per year if you divvy it up by the
Yeah.
years.
If you did the other, yeah, right.
But they
But
were
yeah, I
front
don't think it
loading
was
or back
ever.
loading it.
Yeah. I don't think they was ever doing it like straight up annually, like straight up like that. I don't think they ever were. I don't know for a fact. I don't know.
Right,
Um, but
right.
yeah, the other guy who's getting close to that money guaranteed. Uh, Shout out to Dak Prescott.
Shout out to the
You
homie.
gotta
Yeah,
give that. What's that? 231 guaranteed.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, man.
and he's saying to make. Was it? Is he going to make 60 million this year or is it next year?
I think he's gonna make 60 million this year.
Yikes.
Yeah, we knew that. We knew that was coming. We knew it was
Nah,
coming.
but yeah, we knew a deal was getting done.
Yeah.
231. Because think about it, right? 231 million guaranteed.
Hmm.
I remember having this conversation last year at my 9 to 5, and I even brought it to the podcast.
Yeah.
And I remember saying it was going to take a while for somebody to get to that type of money guaranteed that Deshaun Watson had got. And everybody was trying to convince me that Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert was going to be the ones that got close, that got to that number or beyond that number.
Yeah.
And they didn't. They were actually off by about $15 million, both of them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But they were
So
over that 200 million
they
threshold.
were
Because
over
if you
$200 million.
remember
I think
the
Justin Herbert
Kyler
got
deal,
208.
if you remember the Kyler deal, the Russ
Yeah, that was
deal, Lamar
181.
and Hurts, we was advocating for those guys to get
Right.
North of 200
Mhm.
guaranteed, and that didn't happen.
Right, but those white boys did. No
Yep.
shade. But the white boys got 20, I think 208, and another one, Joe Burrow got 218, I think it was, if I remember
Justifiably with Burrow, but with Herbert,
Look,
but
and
it's
look,
the market.
I'm not even hating. I'm not even hating that they got the money. Look, we know who Joe Burrow is for certain, and we all got an idea of what we believe Justin Herbert can be. I just don't believe they should have got that over the likes of a Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. Maybe over Kyler Murray, maybe you got an argument, but not Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts. They shouldn't have got that over them. But all that to say, we here to celebrate black men getting guaranteed money. Shout out to Dak Prescott for getting that extension. Spend that money well, black man. And in Dallas news, I saw all over Twitter. Shout out Ashley Baker and some other Cowboys fans that Ezekiel Elliott looked good game one. He had some pep in his step. I believe he got in the end zone.
Got in the end zone.
Clearly, they blew out the Browns. So shout out to Ezekiel Elliott. I'm not gonna say that I'm throwing away all my reservation for Ezekiel Elliott at running back one, but I'm glad he got the season started right. And I don't know what the stat line was, but shout out to Ezekiel Elliott.
Shout out to Zeke Elliott, man. Shout out to Monica in the IG live chat. She says that boy's a creep, talking about Deshaun Watson. Also said he lucky he got a second chance. Some people just can't help themselves. Look, prayer, hopefully hopefully things go, smooth for him. But if these allegations keep coming out, man,
they're gonna find a way to get out of that contract.
Yeah,
they're gonna find a way to get out of that contract.
Dead money or not, dead or alive money, they're gonna find a way to get out of it, man.
And shit, if you can get out of it, why?
Right.
Out of it,
it's already not a good contract. Like in terms of the return,
that contract is trash. That shit is trash.
Yeah,
it ain't just not good. That could go down as one of the worst contracts. That's like Albert Hainsworth type contract. Like this shit is a trash ass contract.
Yeah, it's bad, bro. Like I mean, I saw Joe Flacco come in there for 6-7 games and make Njoku look like a top 5 tight end. Like, we can't even do that with Deshaun Watson. Like, where's he at, man? Like, where's the Houston Deshaun Watson?
I don't know. Maybe he need a nigga rubbing him down.
Pause.
Maybe that's what he need. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
Yeah, let me get my Ravens talking here real quick. Obviously, season opener in Kansas City against the defending champs. I had picked the Ravens obviously to win the football game by just a field goal, and turns out, man, I tell you what, when Likely didn't get his toe in the end zone, the first thing I thought about was Kevin Durant, man.
Everybody did.
That's the first thing I thought about. He was trending all over Twitter after the game with the toe, but just taking my bias away from the game. It was a great game. It was a great finish. The drive, that final drive Lamar had, good drive. Is just I would like for him to hit Zay Flowers when he's wide open.
I don't blame that on Lamar Jackson, bro. I think Zay Flowers should have sat down in that hole.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But when those kinds of situations happen like that, man, you just like, damn, like you got to make that happen too. But But I thought he made up for it with the throw to Isaiah Likely. It just was unfortunate that he wasn't all the way in bounds. The throw was it was a
Yeah.
good throw. And the one before that, the one before the Zay throw, I had a theory because Likely kind of had like a little stinger or something, like he landed awkwardly on his shoulder or his arm or whatever, and he had to leave the game for the next play, which was the wide open Miss Zay Flowers touchdown. And then Likely comes back into the game for that final play. I'm just curious, had he not gotten that stinger or hurt or whatever, I'm wondering if like his awareness to make sure he was in bounds, I wonder if like that was affected by him, getting hurt. I just wonder that. I'll never know the answer to that,
Yeah.
obviously, but
Yeah.
um,
I think that's a reach. I don't know that I don't know how good he is at awareness. I don't watch that much Isaiah Likely. But I think it was just an unfortunate, like if your shoe was a half size smaller type of situation.
yeah, like Kevin Durant,
Um,
like that was
yeah,
a
right. I think it was just that, and I
yeah.
think it was just that, nothing more. But I did look at Isaiah Likely in that game and thought this dude's gonna be better than Mark Andrews. I don't know if it's gonna be this year. I don't know if it's gonna be next year, but I think he's gonna be better than Mark Andrews.
I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. There was a moment watching that game where I was like, yo, these guys might trade Mark Andrews. Maybe not this offseason, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe moving forward. Like if they had to part ways with either one, I could see Mark Andrews being the first one to go. I mean, with the way Isaiah Likely has looked, I mean, this is going back to last season. I mean, he's been,
Yeah.
balling like this, and then to come into this game, he had over 100 yards receiving in this game alone with the touchdown, and he could have had, the second touchdown, to tie the game up there. Yeah, man, I was thinking that. I was thinking like, man, and Mark Andrews, that first half was just non-existent,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure. Any thoughts on Derrick Henry in his first game?
Um, I do have some concern. And I've watched a little bit. I've kind of gone back and watched some of his Titans, games and stuff, and just kind of comparing offensive lines and things like that. And in regard to our offensive line, there's still work to be done because there's 3 new guys on the line, so they're
Mm-hmm.
still trying to gel. On top of the fact that the offensive line coach passed away 2-3 weeks ago, so
Mm.
I'm not sure if there's an emotional, thing going on there with losing the offensive line coach, but I think for that situation and for them being in their first game together, I thought they really did a good job of keeping Lamar upright. I think Lamar only got sacked once in the game. However, Lamar did have to scramble, on several occasions and stuff like that. So I thought that game turned when they decided to put the rookie right guard in there, and Chris
Mm-hmm.
Jones just got right past him and had the strip fumble
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
recovery, and it set the Chiefs up right there, for the score. So I thought that was a huge turning point in the game there. As far as Derrick Henry's concerned, um, I think it's a sign of things to come. Like we're not gonna get and I said this before the season started. We're not gonna get the Titans version of Derrick Henry. I think we're gonna get a version of Derrick Henry where he's steady. Um, he's gonna get 20 touches, even though I think he only had like 13 touches in the game.
I think it's
I,
13.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't I don't I don't know what that was about. I thought he could have got more. I thought that there was a situation where in the second half, because Derrick Henry historically has been a second half player where he gets it going. I thought we were going to see some of that, and we never really got to see that. So I'm hoping moving forward that if the game allows it to be, that he can get his 20 plus carries, because that's why you brought him there. Like you didn't bring him there to be Gus Edwards or J.K. Dobbins. You brought him
Mm-hmm.
there to be the primary back, first down, second down, third down. That's what you brought him there to do.
Is he a 1,000 yard running back this year, or more of a 800 yard running back this year?
Mm. I'm gonna still say he's 1,000 yard back.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
gonna still say he's 1,000 yards because I mean they got to run. Like if if they don't want Lamar to run as much, that's what's got to happen. But as we saw in the first game, Lamar had to be the leading rusher again. So
Yeah.
I hope that's not the case moving forward. You know, we'll see what happens with the Raiders this week, but I'm still gonna hold on to him getting 1,000 yards.
Okay. Any
I
thoughts
hope.
on the Cincinnati loss to the New England Patriots? Shout out to Gerard Mayo for his first
Hey,
W.
we could, you know, as much as we've hated the Patriots over the years, we could kind of clap it up for them. You know,
Good.
good
And
shit.
look, Bill
You know,
Belichick and Tom Brady gone. So I mean, I guess
right.
game for the Patriots has definitely been down since Tom Brady left, and for certainly since Bill Belichick was gone. So
Right, right.
I don't know that I have that hatred for the Patriots anymore. Um, so congratulations to Gerard Mayo on his first win. Any thoughts on the Bengals? Much ado about nothing. Do you still have them in the playoffs, or did you have them in the playoffs? I don't remember what you said about that. I know
I
I did
think
not. So
you didn't. I think I had.
mm,
Yeah, I had them in the playoffs.
okay.
I had them in. But I do want to say about the Patriots, you know, that's still a Boston team. So, you know, I still got that hatred on that front. But for this week, them doing a number on Cincinnati in Gerard Mayo's first win as head coach, you know, congrats to the, you know, to the homie on that front. Cincinnati, I think it's just much to do about nothing right now.
Mm-hmm.
T. Higgins was inactive for this game, so they did kind of have to, you know, figure out how that was going to work. And there's still that Jamar Chase extension cloud over the organization's heads. So I did learn something. I know we were talking Ayuk and Jamar Chase. We were talking about the contract situation. So Chase has 2 years left on his deal, and I
Okay.
guess that fifth, I guess that would be the fifth year
Mm-hmm.
where he would get the option, you know, would have opt in or not. Um, but he's
Right,
got two years
and
left.
that's right. So last week when we were talking about it, I was saying there had to be a difference in why Brandon Ayuk was getting so much more press about, possibly being
Right.
traded or trade ideas. So it would seem, I don't know how many years Ayuk had on his contract, but it would seem that
I think he
Jamar
had one.
Chase. Okay, so maybe this was, yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
like that. So that would seem that was the determining factor as to why press was so much on Brandon Ayuk. Because look,
Yep.
let's be clear, Brandon Ayuk has upside, but if we're talking about in the past 3 years, who's been the better wide receiver has been Jamar Chase.
Oh,
So
absolutely. Hmm.
better production wise as a receiver, and he's not getting even half as much press as Brandon Ayuk is. So that I would have to assume that that was a determining factor. And it didn't seem like the 49ers was willing to play ball with him up until the last second. I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I'm gonna kind of deep dive into the Steelers game. But what I didn't like,
Hmm.
that shit I don't like is I'm watching the pregame, and whoever it was on Fox was talking about how, oh, uh, they told Ayuk he had to the end of practice to make a decision because if he not, he gonna get traded to Pittsburgh, and then Kyle Shanahan heroically he tried to call, but then they wouldn't answer the phone, probably because they was on the phone with the Steelers trying to make the trade. So he ran all around the facility to get to the area where the people who made the decisions are, and told them, hold on, don't hang up the phone like it was a movie or some shit. And I'm just telling you, I ain't want to hear that shit. As somebody who desperately needs a wide receiver number two, I ain't want to hear that shit. I didn't enjoy it. Fuck whoever reported that. Even as a guy who didn't believe that Brandon Ayuk was ever really coming to Pittsburgh, but it's no need to twist the knife. Um, I'll make it brief because I know we already kind of did talk about Pittsburgh in the beginning.
Hmm.
Um, Cam Johnston, our punter, is out for the season. And I feared that they was going to sign Presley Harvin. They did not sign Presley Harvin, and they signed
Mhm.
Cordis Waitman, who was on our team, who wasn't much better statistically than Presley Harvin, but probably got a little more upside because we've seen Presley Harvin for some years.
Yeah.
Um, but Cam Johnson, man, get well soon. And Chris Boswell, man. Let me tell you something about Chris Boswell. I get it. Justin Tucker is the best kicker in the league right now, Hall of Famer, all those things. This motherfucker kicked 6 field goals, 3 of them over 50 yards, and then proceeded to kick a 50-yard punt when our punter was out.
Was the co-MVP of the game, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Him and Watt were the two guys
Obviously.
that you credit that win to.
And the case begins today on this side. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. I don't give a fuck who plays better than him this year. Y'all need to give it to him for giving that shit to Myles Garrett last year. This is the best defensive player in the league. I'm tired of saying it, but not really. It's the best defensive player in the league, and y'all gonna learn to treat him as such.
Go ahead.
This motherfucker is so good. He's so fast off the line that they called him offside when he was not offside.
So which one did they call
The
him
first
for
one, the first
offside?
one in the red zone, the first one in the red zone when they called him offside and he
Okay.
wasn't offside, and then the very next play they threw that touchdown to a wide open Kyle Pitts when it should have been Steelers possession because he was not offside. That referee even went to TJ Watt and said to him, "Yeah, I fucked that
I
up."
heard that. So did he get
It was
called for
it was the first
offside
one.
multiple
It was
times in the game?
yeah, it was the second one later on in the game, and that's true too. But I ain't concerned about that one right now.
No,
I'm
I
concerned
got you.
about
I'm
the
just because
I'm
the one
concerned
I
about the
saw,
one right
he was
that was
offside. The one I saw, he was
yeah.
offside.
The one I'm talking about is when he was clearly not offside, and
Mm-hmm.
then Cal Pitts scored the next fucking play. So really,
Uh-huh.
they shouldn't have had 10. They should have had 3. Should have been 18-3.
Mm-hmm.
And now you fucking with my defensive stat line that should be 3 points a game as opposed to 10 points a game. Stop playing with my man. Stop playing with my man. Stop playing with my man. Defensive Player of the Year, T.J. Watt. And there's not enough to be said about Chris Boswell, who, hey, look, man, one of the best kickers in the game. And look, y'all can put who y'all want to put in y'all list of kickers if y'all really into that ranking kicker thing. I'm not. Justin
He's
Tucker,
up there. He's up there.
he's there. He's number 2 to me.
Boswell's up there. Like
He's number
when
2
he
to
was
me.
setting up for the what was it, the 58-yarder? When he was setting up for that one, I was like, oh, he should get this one. Like there's no wind, they're indoors. Like he should
Yeah.
get this one. So like he's up there. Like
What's up with Kirk Cousins, man?
Butker, and Tucker are up there. Like those are the 3 guys when you think of kickers. But
Okay.
I do have a PSA for the city of Atlanta. ATL, this is the Kirk Cousins experience.
Give it up for him. Give it
This
up
is
for him. Cause look,
this is the Kirk Cousins experience.
yeah, because he might go. Because next week he might go batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Next
Yeah.
week he might go batshit crazy.
Yeah. They got the Eagles next.
Yeah, probably.
But he
not,
might still
but,
go crazy. He might go crazy
yeah.
against the Eagles. Yeah.
But probably not. But he might. Like we know Kirk Cousins to be the type of player, for whatever reason, whatever motivates him in the morning, he'll turn up one game, and then next week he'll go being mid. Like we know that about him. So, hey, look, it is what it is. I'm glad that Pittsburgh turned it up on him, and he got uncomfortable because it was. I ain't gonna lie, in the beginning of that game, I was looking at like these motherfuckers are running on us, and
that
they was
first
running.
drive.
They was attacking that Alex Highsmith with Jake Matthews, and it was irking the shit out of me. So I'm glad. Shout out to Terrell Austin and the rest of the defense who figured it out in the second half where they only had 54 yards total. And let's get it next week against Denver.
Yeah, and it makes you think about the NFC South when you watch what the Falcons weren't able to do. And then when you watch how good Tampa looked, and granted it was against the Commanders, are still trying to
Yeah,
figure some things out, but Tampa looked
because
like
yeah,
they're picking up where they leaving off from last year.
sure, but keep it a buck. Keep it a buck.
Hmm.
Tampa's not as good as they looked against the Commanders. They're not. And then that's not to say they're. I think they're still the second best team in the. Or I had the Saints maybe beating them this year, like as the
Hmm.
second team.
Right.
But and really looking at Atlanta's performance this week, um, I don't know. I ain't gonna jump off. I ain't
It's
gonna
an
jump off the bandwagon
overreaction.
that fast.
Obviously, it's
Yeah, I'm
week
not
one
gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna jump
overreactions.
off the bandwagon that fast. But
Yeah.
look, it looked. The Falcons looked crazy, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers didn't, and neither did the Saints.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
And we know who the Saints
Tampa,
played. We can't
right,
even judge
right.
that because I don't think the Saints
Hey,
are as good as how they looked against Carolina on
that's a
Sunday
fact.
either.
That's a fact. But let's be clear about something. Um, those corners in Washington are treated ass. I mean, super. I mean, they are trash. Emmanuel Forbes and St. Juice are
Hmm.
absolute trash.
I
Sorry.
mean,
So,
Mike
hey,
Evans,
Commanders fans, I'm not. Look, hey, look, I
he
get it.
he he gonna do it to anybody. Mike
Mike
Evans do that to
Mike
anybody.
Evans. Mike Evans is going to be Mike Evans, but
Yeah.
I don't know who that number three wide receiver was who had the all kind of off and on game. But
Hmm.
as the second half came on, he just started cooking, and then Godwin was cooking, and this
Hmm.
this this team who was the worst running team in the league looked like they was cooking as the game got to the end of the game, and I guess the Commanders weren't playing for much at
Yep.
that point. But it looked, hey, I ain't gonna hold you, bro. It looks crazy. It looks absolute
Yeah.
crazy. They got the Giants next week. The Commanders do, so I hope they'll have a better game, a rebound game. But they look absolute trash.
Yeah.
Thing I said about this team looks to be true so far. Jaden
Hmm.
Daniels is going to be running for his life, and that secondary is going to get
Yep.
thrown on, and that's what happened. Look,
Hmm.
they were saying I heard a lot of Commanders fans talking about how the game plan wasn't the best, and they should have allowed Jaden Daniels to stretch the field. The majority of that game that I watched, Jaden Daniels made one look, and if he didn't have that first look, he ran. I don't know
Yep.
if that's what he was told to do or if that's what he felt he needed to do because he didn't have faith in that offensive line. But
Hmm.
there's no way you can stretch your field if you're not gonna sit in the pocket.
Right.
So
Right.
hey, hope y'all get that together next week.
Yeah, the Commanders is one of my sleeper teams for a wild
I
card. I
remember
actually
you saying
picked
it.
them as the number
Because
seven
they
wild
got
card in the
7 and
NFC. So
that's why I put
definitely
that
not a
focus
good
on them.
start.
Yeah,
Not a
that's why I
good
put that
start for
focus
them.
on them. Yeah.
But the Giants, and look, I don't want to say let's talk about the Giants because I really don't want to talk about the Giants.
Ain't much to say. Yeah.
Nothing.
That's
Yeah,
just it.
nothing much to say. The alumni is pissed off. Carl Banks had some words. Lawrence Taylor, who Carl Banks claimed Lawrence Taylor don't watch a lot of football these days, but I guess they celebrating 100 years.
Mm-hmm.
They had some kind of like not pregame stuff, but I think the day before they had some kind of ceremony for all the like great, giant players and stuff like that. And that was an ugly ass game against a team that lost their starting quarterback in preseason. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a bad way to start a season off against that team. I mean, I have no
Yeah, man,
hopes
I ain't
for
gonna lie to
Minnesota.
you. I
Hmm.
can't believe I let you convince me to pick the Giants after I had kind of already. I was saying the Vikings, and you was like, "Nah," and then you got me, and then you kind of switched up, and you convinced me, man. And then I watched that game and immediately thought about you, like this motherfucker got me off my square to pick the Giants when I didn't believe the Giants was gonna win that game. Cause,
Hmm.
cause look, man, say what you want about Sam Donald. I think he's competent enough to throw the ball in the air and let Justin Jefferson get it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I
Uh-huh.
don't remember his stat line. I know he got into the end zone.
Yep.
But you know what I'm saying? Like it was just Aaron Jones is there. I don't know if Aaron Jones played or not, but
He did.
yeah, like
He did.
the Giants have nothing to show. Like they got Devin Singletary. They got they drafted Malik Neighbors. but they didn't address their offensive line at all.
Yeah,
At all.
like they haven't for the last 6-7 years.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
seems
and
like.
then wonder why they some shit. You know, it's a
Yeah,
nasty thing that they're doing, man. It's a nasty thing that they're doing.
yeah, definitely candidate for worst team in the league. I think Carolina is that
I
right
damn much
now.
I would say Carolina is that right now.
But the Giants, I mean, if this thing continues to go south, you're talking about Dayball getting his ass up out of there. You're talking about the GM getting up out of there, and you're definitely
Mm-hmm.
talking about Daniel Jones getting up out of there, getting cut. So,
Did he
it's
just get a
bad,
contract
man.
last year?
He did, he did.
Yeah, I don't know how to get. I mean, $40
Well, they
million.
did some kind of clause in there that would allow them to get out after year 2. So
Okay.
I think they're set up to where. And look, I mean, I don't know if you've watched the Hard Knocks with the Giants this offseason, any of that stuff. But and for record, I didn't watch it, but there have been clips that have been released to social media. So one of the clips, like they talked about it, like they don't believe Daniel Jones is the future, like is the guy. They don't believe in him, but yet they went in the draft and didn't address the quarterback. They didn't address offensive line. They didn't address the needs. They just said, "Hey, let's help
Imagine
Daniel
that.
Jones out."
Imagine that. Imagine that. Hey, tough luck. And
It is what it
you know,
is.
you mentioned Carolina.
Mm,
While I wish all the best for Deontay Johnson in his journey, and I do sincerely wish he was still a Pittsburgh Steeler. Now that he's not, I am actively I'm gaining I gained joy, and nobody spoke about Deontay Johnson this week, and
mm,
and Dante Jackson, our cornerback who was sent to us for that trade, almost got a pick six last week. So I'm
mm.
that's just something that's on my radar. Who's having a better season? So who's making off better in the trade? You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of tapped into that.
Yep.
Um, I'm dead. So right now was one of Dante Jackson. Shout out Dante Jackson.
Yeah. You mean Deontay Johnson? You mean
No, I mean Dante Jackson, the cornerback who plays for
the
Pittsburgh, who
corner?
we got
Got you.
in the trade. Yeah,
Got you. Got you.
yeah.
Got you. Yeah. Let me go back a few nights ago. Friday night there was a football game. It was Eagles and Packers in Brazil. A couple of things I take out of that game. That field was some shit.
Mhm.
You had players slipping all over the place. They had to change cleats at halftime. And I gotta say, just overall, it was a good game. Prayers to Jordan Love, because
Yep.
that knee injury looked real nasty. It looked like a season-ending injury, but it looks like he's just gonna sit for a couple of
3-6.
weeks, something
Yeah.
like that. Malik Willis, and I think we mentioned Malik Willis maybe a couple times, a few weeks ago. Malik, man, this your chance. I mean, you're not going to win the job, obviously, but this is your chance to put something good on tape right now, because
Mhm.
you had
Mhm.
you had one job. You had one job on Friday night after Jordan Love got hurt. You had one job, and that was to just throw a Hail Mary to the end zone, and the dude got tripped up and got sacked off of that
Well,
one play.
okay. Well, well, I say this: if we can acknowledge that the field was some shit, you know, I won't. Not in week one. I won't put that much pressure on Malik Willis. Let's see what he puts together in these upcoming weeks with Jordan Love out, and again get well soon to Jordan Love.
Yep.
But I'm not gonna put that on Malik Willis. I'm not gonna put that on him.
Mm, I am.
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
the field was some shit. Yes, I acknowledge that, but I think if it's one play and it's got to go to the end zone, I think you can find a way to
And
dodge
that
three
triple
guys
ball.
coming at you. While everybody else is down the field trying to defend. I think you can find a way to dodge three defenders and just
Unless you
get that
trip.
ball in the air. Huh? He
Unless you
didn't. He didn't
trip.
trip though.
Unless you
That's the
trip.
thing. That's the thing.
I
He
thought you said
didn't
he
really.
slipped his head. I thought you said he slipped and then they got him.
He slipped. He slipped, but he was still able to maintain himself going
Okay.
through. Was just, I think it slowed him down to the point where he finally got
Somebody got him.
tackled. So
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, Green Bay is going to have to really approach this week and really the coming weeks a little bit differently offensively. Josh Jacobs looked really good on Friday night. Shout out to Saquon Barkley in his debut, man. I mean, you think Giants fans are
Saquon
crying right
Barkley.
now? Yeah,
Yeah,
you, yeah.
yeah.
You think Giant fans are crying? Saquon Barkley
I
put on
watched
a
some
show.
of it. Yeah, I watched some of that game. I watched more earlier of the game than later of the game, and Saquon
Hmm.
Barkley was doing him.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Rushed for over 100 yards. Had 1 touchdown receiving.
Sheesh,
He was him. So
sheesh.
he was good, man. But Josh Jacobs had a good game too. So they're gonna lean on Josh Jacobs, I think, a little bit more in the coming weeks, and
Uh-huh.
they're just gonna have to see how that's
Yeah,
gonna
'cause
play out.
yeah. I mean, look. Hopefully you ain't gotta lean on Malik Willis. I mean, look, man. You know why he's here. He was here on a
Yep.
reclamation project. Like he didn't look good in Tennessee. So
Yeah. Right. Right.
you don't just throw him out there and say, "Hey, make it work like they did in Tennessee," and it clearly that clearly didn't work for him. I mean, nah, I don't know. Did Malik Willis throw the ball in Tennessee? It looks like he did more running for his life and throwing it out of
Well,
bounds and
remember the Sunday
making
night
completions
when they was
against
in
Kansas
Kansas
City.
City? Yeah.
Yeah,
Where what they had a lead in that game, if I remember.
yeah.
The Titans did.
I don't think he goes. I mean, I'm embellishing. I'm being a little extra, but did
Yeah.
that nigga complete a pass in that game?
He
He
did.
was
He
just
completed
running
a
for his life.
pass. He did complete a pass. Yes, he did. He did. I remember that game vividly. He in the second half he got scared to make some
Yeah.
throws toward the end, and then they ended up blowing that game. And
Mm-hmm.
speaking of the Titans blowing games, they blew a big one against the Bears on Sunday,
Hey, and
man.
all that and all that Will Levis hype. Look, I'm not saying that he's not capable of being good.
Hmm.
Not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he had a year where nobody was expecting nothing from him, and
Hmm.
he gave us something to look at on tape.
Yep, some
Um,
moments. Yep.
he looked crazy. He looked crazy. And towards after they got up and
After they
Chicago
got up
management
17
come
nothing,
back.
yeah.
Yeah, he looked crazy. He looked crazy.
Yeah.
And one game we won't overreact because he has positive tape on him from last
Hmm.
year, but he looked
Yeah.
crazy in that
He
game.
cost him that game. Like he
Yeah, for
solely
certain, for
cost him that
certain,
game.
for
Yeah, like
certain.
you throw that ball away. Like when there's nothing there, you throw that ball away. I mean, he
Yeah,
threw it right to homeboy to
yeah,
return it for the touchdown.
he look. Mason Rudolph just came off a decent second half of the season. Don't lose your job for nothing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is the backup there
Yeah, he the
in
backup.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. Yeah. I really don't have much on Caleb Williams except it's just his first game.
First
It's
game,
it's the
and thank
growing
God for a
pains.
good roster, and thank God for a good roster, good
Yeah.
defense, good special teams, where you didn't have to do too much.
Typical, like I've seen the Bears historically win games like that. Like
Right.
this is crazy, man.
I don't
The,
have
the
nothing
way
on
that
the,
the
I
way
don't
they
have
won that
nothing on
one.
Caleb Williams, especially
So
because I think Jaden Daniels gonna be rookie of the year. So
yeah, I do think Caleb's going to be good eventually, though. Like I think
sure,
he's going to
sure.
progress as the year goes by. And prayers to Roma Dunze because they
Yeah.
found out that he had something going on with his leg or something like that. So hopefully that's not too serious where he don't miss a lot of time because that's a pretty good receiving core when you put him, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and then you got Cole
Mm.
Kmet at tight end
Yeah.
along with
It's
the
a good
running
receiving
back
core.
there, DeAndre Swift. Yeah, like that's a pretty good
Mm-hmm.
offense. So you don't want to lose one of those guys. So
Are you still standing on? You feel like DeAndre Swift is better than Jameer Gibbs?
mm, I'm trying to. I said that in the past.
I feel like you said that in the past, and if not last week, the week before.
Okay. Well, I don't remember if I did or not, but if you're asking me right now, I will say DeAndre Swift right now is not as good as Jameer Gibbs. I'll say
Okay.
right now.
Yeah.
I'll say right
Yeah.
now.
Exactly. Yeah. 'Cause I ain't gonna lie. I was watching that game Sunday and was like, I don't know what y'all are watching that you got y'all thinking like Swift is better. And don't get it, Swift is nice. Don't please don't take this as me
Hmm.
saying
Hmm.
DeAndre Swift ain't nice. Jameer Gibbs is better than him, right? He's better than him.
Yeah.
He just is.
Yeah, I believe that. I believe
Yeah,
that. I mean,
he
after
just
what I
is.
watched this weekend, yeah.
Boy, when I
I just
tell
don't
you,
remember me saying Swift was better than Jameer Gibbs. I don't remember
okay,
that convo,
okay,
but if I had to
okay,
pick
but
right now, it would be
yeah,
Gibbs.
and man, say what you want. Matthew Stafford is one of the last white quarterbacks that just sit in that pocket and throw that ball and and only runs when it's the absolute last thing to do. Like he's the
Hmm.
last of that dying breed of quarterback. And when I tell you that drive, that last drive,
Yeah.
they ain't win the game.
Hmm.
Boy, that that nigga was clocked in. You hear me?
Yeah.
I was watching that boy throw that. I said, this nigga is still cold with it after
That
all
nigga
these
said,
years.
"Yo, I don't want to lose back to back at the old crib. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
ain't trying to lose."
That nigga still throw that ball, man. Like when he really want to get in his bag, he throws it with the best of them, man. And he put on a clinic that drive to let y'all to remind y'all that
Yeah.
I'm still him when it comes to that. That was a hell of a game Sunday night. Detroit is flat out is just know what it's like. That they're the better team. Um,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they continue to show such. So I mean, no real analysis from me from that outside of that was a hell of a game. That was a hell of a game.
That was a great game. That was a great finish, a great ending. Someone said quietly, and they, I felt like I just brushed it off because I'm like, ain't no way, like you crazy. But someone said that was a potential NFC Championship preview, and I'm like,
Um,
eh,
I don't believe that, but
without Aaron Donald,
yeah, I don't believe that, but I would if I had to base it on what I saw Sunday, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I don't
mhm.
believe that.
Yeah,
I look,
it,
I don't know that the Eagles. I don't know if there's not going to be the Eagles and the 49ers in the championship if you ask me to talk right this second,
mhm,
um, I I'm looking at that Eagles. I'm looking at Saquon Barkley, man.
mhm,
What you gonna do? Like try to stop him and then leave it up to Devontae Smith was cooking.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
Detroit defense looked different this year, man. Look
yeah, for
different in this
sure.
game. The defense looked different, man.
Carlton Davis at cornerback with that rookie number 0. I forget his name right now.
Hmm.
Like they look good at cornerback. Um, that secondary looks alright. Like that defense look good.
It looked good,
I
man.
agree with you. They look good.
It looked
Look,
good.
I'm still not ready to say that they're going to be able to deal with San Fran because look, Christian McCaffrey didn't play. I don't know who Jordan Mason is. I think that's his name.
Yep.
I don't know who that nigga is, but he
Hey,
did the damn
he
thing.
had himself a game yesterday. He
Yeah,
had himself
sure
a
enough
game,
did.
man. So McCaffrey, they was a late scratch, but
Yeah,
they asked Jordan Mason after the game, "Hey, when did you know that you were gonna get the start?" And he was like, "I knew Friday." So I was like, "Wait, so y'all
this
knew
nigga
all
slipping.
along that McCaffrey was gonna sit this game out, and y'all got these, sports bettors all pissed off, that he became a late
They gonna
scratch.
pay a fine.
Fa-
They gonna pay a
fa-
fine.
yep, yep. Fantasy football players, folks had McCaffrey in their lineup, and to hear that he's a late scratch, that made a difference in some matchups and stuff like that. And another reporter asked him again to confirm it, and Jordan Mason he got a little upset. He was like, "Yo, like this is why I don't like talking to the media because I try to tell the truth, and then y'all want to turn it into something that's not as big
Well, nigga,
as it
what you
should
thought they
be."
were gonna turn it into? But he a
I
rookie.
don't
He a
know
rookie. I'm assuming.
what's that.
He a rookie. I'm assuming.
He's a rookie, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you just didn't know like maybe you didn't know how this works in the NFL. And then what you thought you was going to just drop a dime like that and nobody
Right,
was going to know what you're implying? Like you were with essentially you said about you found out Friday and we didn't find out till Monday
right.
is nigga, they not reporting injuries, and that then you have to report injuries. So, nigga, you just snitched on your team,
Pretty
and you thought
much.
they wasn't going to try to get you to do it again to confirm that you
Yeah.
snitched on your team.
Right.
Like, nigga, did you just not realize you snitched on your team, and then when they asked you again, you realized it and got in your feelings about it.
PR
Ugh.
101.
Hey, PR 101. Hey,
PR
but I blame
101.
that on San, and for real, I blame that on San Fran because
Mhm.
yeah, y'all been an organization for a long time. You didn't think that might be a question to your running back who started and had a good game?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I don't
Train your
see how
team,
they
man.
let that
Train your
slip.
team. I've
But
been having a
I'm sitting
long
at
conversation
home.
with folks about leadership.
Right. I'm sitting here watching him answer the question, and my antennas went up the moment he answered it. So if I'm just a simple nigga at home watching the game
Yeah.
and my antenna goes up, then yeah, you best believe your PR staff and the coaches and everybody else gonna have their antennas up. Like you better believe
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
So,
For
but
sure.
I'm sure they'll give it to him because there is a great chance that he's gonna start against the Vikings this Sunday coming up too.
Mm.
They're really trying to be cautious with McCaffrey in this. I guess it was a calf injury of
Okay.
some sort, something like that.
Mhm.
So, and I guess given his history of injuries, I guess the Niners want to be careful with him. So I could respect holding him off for however you only want to hold him off. This kid's obviously good. The scheme is great, so anybody can come in there and look.
If you
You and
know
I
what you're
can rush
doing.
400 yards. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know if I can, but I give you code 35.
that scheme is too great for running backs to come in there and
You
go.
also gotta run a full. You also gotta run a full 4-4-4-5. I probably run like
Well,
a
true.
7-8.
Yeah, that's true. True. Yeah, facts,
So,
facts.
you watched this game clearly last night. Tell me about the Jets, though.
So I think this is just a case of some guys not getting preseason time. Aaron
Mm,
Rodgers didn't get a lot of preseason time. This is really his first start with the Jets. Like, I mean, yes, he started last year, but
First
that was
time.
4 plays in. But
Yeah,
this is like his first time really getting acclimated with his teammates in real time.
yeah,
So I thought on some drives they look good. The connection with Garrett Wilson, like that's there already. I thought the couple of drops by Lazard, I thought he missed him, which is kind of surprising given that that's his man's, from Green Bay. Brees Hall, that you mentioned something about the fantasy football predictions, and I get that's fantasy versus reality. I didn't think Brees looked all that spectacular last night.
and I was saying this. Yeah,
I didn't think he looked all that great.
one game, but
Right, it's one game. It's against the defending NFC champs. Maybe you don't put too much stock into it given who the opponent was. But I just gotta say, like, and just even watching his speed, like he don't really got that like burst that he had before we had the injury a couple years ago. So
mm,
I'm looking at Brees Hall and I'm like, man, I know you playing against this front seven. This front seven is really stout, but
yeah,
you're not looking really, really tough right now. It's one game. We'll see what
yeah,
happens. They play the Titans. The Titans kind of have a pretty good, front seven
pretty good
too.
defense.
So,
Yeah,
they're gonna have their work cut out for them. Offensive line play, I thought was okay. Rodgers only got sacked, I think, once. But he did get pressured a couple of times, so that's going to be a challenge for them. I think all in all, I think you just have to take this game if you're the Jets and just say, we played the defending NFC champs. They was in the Super Bowl last year. This team is still a Super Bowl contending team in San Francisco. Um, Glad we was able to survive this game and get Aaron Rodgers, keep him upright. At least we know now what we got moving forward. So that's what I take from the Jets yesterday.
okay, okay. I guess the last thing that well, let me let you go. let me let you go.
Yeah,
'Cause
I
you
got
probably,
some. I got some quick hitters. I got
okay.
some quick hitters here. To basketball. Let's go to basketball for a minute. Shout out to Angel Reese. And prayers to Angel Reese
Yeah.
as she tweeted out after their huge victory the other day. The victory they needed to stay in the race for the playoffs. She tweeted that she injured her wrist in the middle of that game. Got the surgery, said it'll be about 6 weeks, meaning she'll be out for the rest of the season and the playoffs. So, sad to see her, go, in the season. Uh, I'll say this: great rookie season by Angel
Hmm.
Reese.
Yeah.
Had a stretch of double doubles. I think she broke the record for that. Broke the record for most rebounds in a season by a rookie. She's just a
By a
machine,
rookie or
man.
period? Was it by a rookie or period?
I thought it was by a rookie, but you may be
Yeah,
right. You
period.
may be right. You may be right.
Yeah.
It might just be period. But I mean, she's had a great rookie year, man. She just got a motor to her. Like the engine don't stop for her. She had 19 boards the other day. Like,
Mhm.
and but I think what's fitting though is she was leading the league in rebounds per game over Asia Wilson. I think Asia Wilson was at 12. I think Angel was at 13. I think she's gonna finish there. She's going to finish at the top of the leading rebounds list for the season. Asia Wilson sat out a game because she kind of aggravated a leg in a game against the Liberty the other night. So, congrats to Angel Reese on a great rookie year. Can't wait to see what's in store for her next year, and hopefully the Chicago Sky put a much better cast of guards around her, Camilla, and Kennedy Carter. Hopefully they get that patched up. Um, Other news: Jamal Murray got the bag, man. Congrats to Jamal Murray, 4-year
Yeah.
extension, $208 million by the Nuggets. Um, Deal that had to be done, man. It's one of the better guards in the league. I know he doesn't
Hmm.
have an All-Star appearance, but in the playoffs, that dude, he's money in the playoffs with what we've seen so far. So,
Yeah. Congrats.
congrats to Jamal Murray on that front. And congrats to Al Horford. He announced his retirement
Hmm.
yesterday, I believe.
Hmm.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
For
Um,
sure.
in my book, and really, it should be in most people's books that he's going into the Hall of Fame just from what he
Yeah.
did in college, the longevity in the NBA. He was on
Hmm.
those
He got
Hawks
he got the
teams.
ring.
He got the ring. He definitely he got the ring to kind of cap off the career. Um, his time with the Hawks was a very steady time. They were playoff contenders with him there. But a strong career, a strong, solid Hall of Fame career for Al Horford. Congrats to the homie.
But definitely
And
based off his college career more so than his NBA career.
sure,
That's important.
sure, absolutely. He got 2 rings with Florida in that
Yeah.
college stint. So
Yeah.
shout out to him on a on a solid career there. And last but not least, I know you want to get to this too. Kendrick Lamar to headline this year's Super Bowl halftime show. I first want to say congratulations to Kendrick Lamar on this accomplishment.
Yeah.
He's gonna kill the show. Like he's gonna be great for this platform, and with the audience that he's going to generate. Like this is huge. This is big for Kendrick Lamar. um and I know you feel the same way as far as
Hmm.
him deserving this nod and all that. I'm interested to hear from you because there's been a lot of discourse about Lil Wayne, about the city of New Orleans, about why the committee decided Kendrick and not Lil Wayne, like that whole discourse. I'm curious to get like your thoughts on everything there.
My overall thought is first of all, congratulations to Kendrick. Um, yes, I'm glad he's doing it.
Hmm.
Um, I do. I am that guy who feels like I would want to see a hometown person perform in their hometown stadium.
Hmm.
I like. I am. I like that. With that. That's a good story. That's just a good story. You know what I'm saying? Lil
Yep.
Wayne is noted as somebody who wanted to perform at this particular Super Bowl,
Hmm.
and it was something that he had been working towards before. This. Like he knew it was happening, knew it was coming, and was trying to effectively put in what he believed to be the work that would hopefully get him there.
Hmm.
And with that regard, sad to say he didn't make it. Um, for those who say that Kendrick Lamar got this because of the Drake beef, you're correct. Now what? But let's not sit here and act like um, Kendrick Lamar don't have the records to perform at Super Bowl. Lil Wayne does too. Don't get that
Hmm.
twisted.
Hmm.
But let's not sit here and act like he don't have the songs. Let's not act like he don't know how to perform. Let's not
Yeah.
act like he's not one of the premier stars in this music industry, let alone the
He
rap
is the hottest right
industry.
now. Like he
Um
is the
like
hottest right now.
let's like all those things. Let's not act like all those things aren't true about Kendrick Lamar. Whether he like, yes, the beef is what got him here, 100%. Hey, then leave that nigga alone then leave that nigga alone. If you don't want him to see it, then you should have told Drake to leave that nigga alone. Um, I saw Cam and Mace talking about Jay Z hates on Lil Wayne. I don't know that to be true. I don't know that to be fake.
Hmm.
But I do know that there is a video on Twitter about Lil Wayne thanking Jay Z and Swiss Beats to a lesser note, but thanking Jay Z for helping him handle his tax situation, which was
Hmm.
about $14 million in tax debt.
Hmm.
Um, that don't mean Jay Z ain't hating. I just saying from the outside looking in, it don't seem that way.
Hmm.
Um, if this was Jay Z hating, I what you want me to like again? Like, what do you want me to say? Like, what do you want me to say, dog? Like, if that's how he felt, then sorry, dog. What you want me to act like? I fuck with a nigga. Like, let's say Jay Z hating in theory. What
Yeah.
you want him to act like? Oh, I fucks with Lil Wayne. So for the sake of culture, I need to overlook my hate and let Lil Wayne, get the look. When Kendrick, who has had a phenomenal year, can also get the look, like you know, culture. Like, am I of the opinion that culture? I would feel a little bit better about Lil Wayne performing in New Orleans. Yes, I would. But am I mad at Kendrick performing?
Nah.
Absolutely not. Because one thing I know is Kendrick's going to give a show. I
Yeah.
know that. That you can
Yeah.
stamp it. You can stamp it. Um, uh, I saw more NFL chick for my third or second time quoting her today. She made an excellent point where she talked about, well, they was in New Orleans in 2013 when Beyonce performed, and nobody had nothing to say about, oh, Little Wayne should perform or No Limit should perform. So if you didn't have an issue in 2013, I can't imagine why you would have an issue in 2024. I agree with that sentiment. Um, but in a perfect world, and I know we don't live in it, but maybe we can get some hints of perfect or look, man, Kendrick, if you're listening, get No Limit and Cash Money on that stage. I'm not talking about Young Money. I ain't talking about Drake and Nicki Minaj. I ain't talking about them because I get your issue. You got an issue with Drake. I ain't talking about him. I'm talking about Hot Boys. I'm talking about Manny Fresh, Juvenile, BG, Lil Wayne, Turk. Get them on that stage. Get Master P, Mia X, Silk the Shocker, Fiend, That's just a deep cut. No limit.
Mystical is
Yeah,
Mystical free?
yeah,
Is he
yeah.
free?
I don't think so. But
Oh,
whoever you can get of the no limit and cash money. Let me be clear, not young money, but cash money.
mhm.
Well, whoever of them you can get there, get them there, man. If you can, get them there, man. Get them there because as a person of culture that I think Kendrick Lamar is, you would be doing hip hop a great service of taking 5 minutes out of your show to allow No Limit and Cash Money to get their shit off in New Orleans. Back that ass up as in New Orleans at Super Bowl should happen. It should happen.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It should happen.
So because I got a lot, I got a lot to say on this. So it's about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. So the city of New Orleans declared Master P to be the quote unquote the entertainment
Yep.
ambassador
Mhm.
for the Super Bowl festivities for that particular weekend.
Yep.
So my first reaction to it was, well, obviously the city of New Orleans doesn't speak for the NFL. It's two different entities. But man, what if, and was just coming to thought, what if Master P could get a hand into selecting who would be participating in the Super Bowl halftime show this year? And I'm like, man, they got to find a way to get No Limit up on that stage. Bring back, like you said, the Mia X's, the Mysticals, the Fiends, Silk.
Shaka, it ain't my
Bring,
fault in New Orleans.
yeah, like find a way to get that group, back into the spotlight. And just as an aside, I feel like Master P doesn't get his flowers enough.
You
Um,
know.
and I have my reasons why I think he doesn't, but I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. So there's that. So I thought at that point when he became the ambassador for entertainment for that weekend, I thought this might have some good things come about with this. I'm thinking, ooh, hey Jay, you got to find a way to get No Limit in some capacity on that stage at some point, right? So Kendrick, it was announced. So Kendrick announced that he was doing the halftime show, and again,
Fire commercial, by the
congratulations.
way.
Yes,
With all
again,
the with all the disses in it.
yeah, facts. Again, congratulations. He deserves it. The catalog is there. The way he performs is there. It's perfect. It's a
What he
perfect.
did this year
Yeah,
is there. Like,
yeah.
let's be clear. All the accolades before the diss, all the accolades before the diss would have not gotten him on that Super Bowl stage this year. It wouldn't have happened. It
Mm-hmm.
was clear that because of the effect not like us had
Yep.
on the world is the sincere, obvious, and only reason, or let me say main reason, because main reason that he's going to perform at the Super Bowl. It is the main reason. And
Yep.
now I take it back. It is the only reason. If Not Like Us never came out, he's not performing at Super Bowl. It's clear, it's evident, it's the truth.
Mm-hmm. I haven't given that much thought, but I'll definitely take your side on that. Here's what I'll say too. I know I got a couple things I want to say about this. So you mentioned something NFL chick said about the Super Bowl being in certain cities. It was in New Orleans in 2013, and the folks that are complaining about this now. Well, for me, the reason why folks are saying something about this now and it's a lot of outrage for me, a couple of reasons. Number one, Jay-Z is kind of the showrunner here. Like he's kind of like the decision maker in terms of the Super Bowl halftime show performers. Like it's been that way since I think the Atlanta Super Bowl, I want to say, where it was
Um,
where
they
or it was either that one or it was the Miami one where they had J-Lo and Shakira. It was one of those
that's where
two
it
Super
started.
Bowls where it started,
That's
right?
where it started. So it was that one, then the Dre, then the Rihanna, or however that order is.
Last year was Usher, Rihanna before that. It was the LA
Before,
Super
so
Bowl with Dre and M and
right,
Snoop.
yeah, okay,
And
before, but
then
he started with the Shakira J-Lo one.
he started with
That was the
Shakira.
first one.
Okay, he did start with the Miami one
Yeah,
then.
that was the first one.
Right. So since then, to me, I've looked at past Super Bowl performers, I feel like there's a trend that's starting. I feel like it's been hip hop R&B for like 3-4 years in a row.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
yeah.
count the weekend, let's not forget the weekend, and granted,
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't like his
yeah,
performance,
yeah, yeah.
but that was after J-Lo and Shakira. So if you count the weekend, that's the weekend, the LA Super Bowl, Rihanna, and last year's Usher, and now you got Kendrick. That's 5 years in a row of hip hop, representing the Super Bowl halftime, stage. So folks are going to automatically think about, locations. LA, Dre got to do that in his hometown.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's not a precedent. I don't think it was intended to be a precedent. But look, as fans, we could dream. We could have these conversations. Like, I mean, we
We
had
do it
these
every year.
conversations.
Do it every year.
Right. When it was in Atlanta, we was like, yo, Outkast. When it was in
Mm-hmm.
Miami, we was talking about Trick and Trina. If you want to throw Pitbull in there, go ahead and do that. New Orleans, we talking about Cash Money, we talking about No
Mm-hmm.
Limit. That would be dope. Um, that's fine. I'm good with that. I'm a fan. I could dream about, these kinds of possibilities here. So yes, it is different. This is a different era of the Super Bowl halftime show. It's no longer the Madonnas and the Justin Timberlakes and the U2s and the Maroon. Like, it's no longer that. It's been hip hop for 5 straight Super Bowls. So yes, there's a trend. I think that's taking place here. And as far as Cam and Mace go, and I saw that clip the other day with them talking about, and it's funny, they kind of threw in there the whole Fanatic Fest thing where he said Jay kept them from attending Fanatic Fest, which I didn't know. Well, I knew Jay has some kind of connection to Fanatics with Michael Rubin and them guys. I know he has that connection in terms of a relationship, but Cam claimed that him and Mace were kept from attending Fanatic Fest. Um, everybody knew who Cam was talking about when he first talked about the whole Lil Wayne thing. And there's a little bit of history there. I know Cam and Jay are cool now, but when it was the whole Rockefeller thing, there was some stuff going on there. So I don't know if that was influenced by that, but a lot of folks came out and kind of defended the whole Lil Wayne not being able to perform. I mean, Nicki Minaj went on a tirade on Twitter. Birdman came out and said it was a joke. Juvie came out with a video and said, "Yo, this is a joke." So,
Look, and again, I ain't mad at nobody for feeling how they feel.
mhm,
Um, but don't send that shit to Kendrick because Kendrick ain't do nothing to deserve no shade in this situation.
yep,
So, and and keep it that way because Kendrick deserve earned this spot. Period. I
yeah,
get that people because and that's not to say Lil Wayne doesn't deserve it. I'm just
mhm,
saying that Kendrick does. You know, so let him have it. Let him
mhm,
have it. Like you can be upset. Be upset. Get your shit off. But don't act like Kendrick didn't deserve to be here because Lil Wayne may have been the best choice in your opinion.
mhm.
Don't do that. But congratulations to Kendrick. As far as I'm concerned, congratulations to Kendrick. And look,
Congrats.
it ain't over for Lil Wayne. That maybe he don't get to do it in New Orleans, or maybe he does in the future.
Right.
But
So I've never been to a Little Wayne concert, but I've been hearing multiple occasions that he's not a great performer. I don't know how true that
He's not
is.
I'm not gonna say he's not a better performer than Kendrick. And yes, there has been times when he's forgotten lyrics, but it happens to every single rapper who's ever done a show.
Yeah,
Well, look, I've also seen that he just got finished rocking an hour and 30 minute set somewhere just like last week or 2 weeks ago or something, and people were saying he was damn near flawless. So
hmm
look that like we don't got to do that. I get it. We Some people want Kendrick, some people want Lil Wayne. I'm good either way, but I can understand why I'm more of a Kendrick fan than I am a Lil Wayne fan. But I can also acknowledge that Lil Wayne is probably a better rapper than Kendrick if you're talking about history and if you're talking about
absolutely.
um yeah, like if you asking me to rank, even though I listen to more Kendrick than I do, I would never rank Kendrick over Lil Wayne. Like
Yeah,
that's just
but the
you know
longevity too. The
well,
longevity
I look.
also.
If you asking me, literally, if you're asking me, not metaphor. If you're asking me bar for bar,
hmm
and you really, asking me to step out of my fandom for what Kendrick does, I'm gonna say Lil Wayne. I'm and feel fine saying it.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? I'm just more of a fan of what Kendrick does, music,
Yeah,
musically, et cetera, et cetera. But um, this ain't no Kendrick put out Not Like Us this year, y'all. It happened.
hmm
It's To
be
me,
be happy. Be
honestly,
happy about it, man.
it's
Like
just that simple.
you
Kendrick put
know.
out Not Like Us this year. He's going to the Super Bowl.
hmm
That's what's happening. This is a
Yep.
business play. This is a business play, and you're really not gonna go wrong. Like if Lil Wayne would have went, you wouldn't have went wrong. And with Kendrick, you're not gonna go wrong. You're gonna be
Right.
entertained at half.
Right.
You are.
Yeah, and look, I'm still holding out hope for No Limit to grace the stage at some point. I'm
I'm
still
holding out
holding out
hope
hope.
for I'm holding out hope for Make 'Em Say and back that thing up being performed. And I'm looking forward to a marching band performing Not Like Us.
hmm Yeah, I'm
That's what I'm
holding out
holding out
hope.
hope. Those are my three wishes.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't wait to see who he selects as, the people that are gonna perform with him. I know Wayne has got a song with Kendrick Lamar, so
They're definitely
a
not
hot
doing it.
song. What's that?
They're not doing Mona Lisa.
You don't think so? Okay.
I know so.
Okay. All right. All right. Cool. I thought there was some hope there, but okay.
Yeah, there's no way in hell in 15 minutes that they're gonna put out Mona Lisa and do Mona Lisa. And I love that song by the way. But
It's a dope song. It's a dope
yeah,
song. But I was hoping I hope.
no.
You ready to get into some NFL picks for next week,
Mm-hmm.
man? All
Mm-hmm.
right, man. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's start with the Thursday night game. We got Bills going to Miami to take on the Dolphins.
You mean Miami?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Miami also. Then we got the Raiders at the Ravens. I'm going with the Ravens.
You mean the Ravens?
Um, Chargers at the Panthers. I'm gonna take Jim Harbaugh and crew.
Yeah.
Then we got the Saints at the Cowboys. I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
You want to say the Cowboys?
That's new money right there, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna say the
And they a
Cowboys.
better team. And they a better team. So
Yeah.
rematch of the divisional round. Buccaneers at the Lions.
Lions.
Yeah, I would like to go upset special there, but I'm gonna pick Detroit. Um, Give me the Colts over the Packers in Green Bay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will take the Jaguars over Cleveland in Jacksonville.
Yep. Yep.
49ers at Minnesota.
49ers.
Yeah, I got the Niners too. Seattle going to New England.
Give me Mayo to get a second win. I don't know why I'm saying that. I think I just want to root for a black coach.
Okay, I'll root for the black quarterback. Well, they're both black quarterbacks. I Jacoby
Yeah.
Brissett is the starter there, but Geno Smith. I'll take Seattle then.
Yeah.
I'll,
I mean, honestly, I feel like my odds are leaning towards Seattle, but give me the Patriots.
okay. All right. Jets at the Titans.
Jets.
As much as I want to go upset here, I'm gonna stick with the Jets on this.
Mm-hmm.
Giants at the Commanders.
Commanders.
Yeah, because I'm picking them just because they got to win.
I'm picking them because the Giants are trash.
They got to win. Well, look, the Giants have had the Commanders' number for a while.
Yeah,
so.
I know. Not this time. Jaden Daniels should be able to win that game just running for his life.
Yeah. So we got Rams at the Cardinals, and just on a short note, Kyler Murray did ball out on Sunday, but it just wasn't enough against Buffalo. Who you got?
Mm-hmm. Not the Cardinals. I forgot who that was.
My man said not the Cardinals. Not about who winning.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who he said, but I just heard not the Cardinals.
Yo, give me the upset here. I'm taking Arizona over the Rams this week. Give me the upset.
That's the Rams. Thank you. Yeah, no, and look, let's be clear. I don't believe the Rams are that much of a better team than the Cardinals, but I think a little bit of that. I think a little bit of that Matthew Stafford going to show up.
Oh, it will. It will. And I think the Rams ain't going to be able to stop Kyler Murray.
We shall see.
So we got Pittsburgh going to Denver.
Yeah, give me Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I'll take the Steelers. Bengals at the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
I'll take the Chiefs. Sunday night, give me the Texans over the Bears.
Yep.
In Houston. And then Monday night.
Even though I'm not picking the Bears, but if I had to pick an upset, that would be a spicy upset.
I'm glad you said spicy, because if you'd have just said that would be an upset, I'd be like, not over some of these other games. But if you say a spicy upset, yeah, that would be definitely a spicy upset there. And then Monday night, give me the Eagles over the Falcons. And Kirk Cousins go 0-2.
Yeah,
and then we really start having a conversation about who's going to win the South.
It's still the South, though.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree.
That's true. Quick shout out to everybody in the chats, Facebook Live, YouTube. Shout out to everybody in the chats on IG. Appreciate everybody. Hey, Monica, if you still listening and watching, I sent that Cash App over. If you still want a hat, I still got some. I sent that Cash App over. So, holla at your boy when you get a chance. What was I gonna say? Oh, everybody out there, appreciate you. Appreciate the viewers, the listeners, and all that good stuff. Continue to follow us on social media. Click the like button on the Facebook page. Also, follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We got the YouTube channel, so click subscribe, click the like button. We appreciate that. Also on Twitter, you can follow us at Barbershop SPOR2. Maestro Styles, you can find him everywhere at Maestro Styles. We got the Twitch channel going as well, so we could definitely use some viewership on some followers on that side. If you got questions, comments, email us at barbershopsportstalk1@gmail.com. We also got the link to the merch store with some hoodies, t-shirts, and some mugs and some good stuff. Make sure y'all check that out. And, as always, folks, love, peace, and happiness out there. Maestro, if you got nothing else, man, I'm hungry. There's some steak upstairs waiting for me with some peas and rice. I'm ready to go, bro.
All right, man.
No doubt. Love, peace, and happiness to everybody. And as always, folks, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh, yeah, we got him. Trey Frazier and Maestro Styles, we got one. Right back like we left some. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.